It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Okay, friends, it went from giving ultimate spring energy to back to winter. But for me, I didn't miss a beat. Why? Because I've kept on all of my winter clothes, my coat. Only thing I was missing yesterday was a scarf. But that's it. But yes, live at lunch. So let's see if any of our friends are going to tap in to this live. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it like a salt shaker. Or shake it like a Polaroid picture. For you friends born after 90, maybe you won't know about a Polaroid. But for my friends that are older, then you know exactly what a Polaroid picture is. Hey, that looks like vanilla. There was a, oh, that, well, it sure looks vanilla to me. All right. The only thing is my hands are a little nippy. I'm a little, that I didn't, I took my gloves out during the warm days. I took my gloves out of my bag. So, yeah. But it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, friends. So just chillaxing in the park. Mm-mm. The day's pretty overcast, but it's still a nice day. Every day is a wonderful day when you are divinely aligned. Yes, friends, divine alignment. So, just live at lunch, friends, just tapping in with the divine souls, aka the conscious ones, the collective, on this Friday afternoon. Thank the universe that it is Friday. Yes, so relieved. I mean, I was out 2 days this week, but I still feel, a little exhausted, as do most working folk. By Friday, you're like, ugh, ready for the weekend, ready for rest, ready to just chill and not have to think about work. Albeit 2 days, but we have to be thankful for what we have, regardless. Like, a lot of people don't have jobs, so like I'm grateful to have a job that I get 2 days off and I'm able to, relax a bit for those 2 days. And then it's back off to the races on Monday morning. Yeah, but I'm just in a energy of just like gratitude, of um of contentment, you know. As you friends know, I was supposed to have surgery on Wednesday for this brain aneurysm, but you know, the universe decided something different. So I'm so very grateful, and it's a good, I'm in a good place right now. So I'm in the park, right down the block from my job, and I love the park. That's first and foremost. Love the park. Love to just sit in the park and just kind of be at one with the trees and the grass and the birds. This is like good times. I don't know about you friends, but for me, it's a good time. I have no complaints. If it were like 5 degrees warmer, eh, it would be a little more ideal, but hey, it could be 5 degrees colder, and then I probably wouldn't be in the park. So again, it's all about mindset. Mindset matters. It's how you perceive things. It's how you look at things, you know? So honestly, that makes a big, big difference. The way you think really creates your reality. So when you think positive thoughts, as cheesy and cliche as it sounds, literally, friends, I'm living proof it works. It really works. And I was facing some daunting challenges. You're talking about, brain surgery. If that's not daunting, I don't know what is. And so I just maintained my belief in a divine universe. And, it worked. It worked out, period. That's all I can say. So, if I had any advice to give to any of my viewers, my subs, the conscious ones, the collective, it would be regardless to any challenges that you're facing, it's all about your mindset. You know, you can look at it as something awful, or you can look at it as something awful, but yet, you know, still the opportunity for something to turn around. Just because it is doesn't mean that that's the way it will be. So, you just meditate on that. But yes, in good old Harlem, I'm in good old Harlem. And so it's wonderful. And I'm seeing a peak of the sun. Look, friends, as I'm talking positively, a peak of the sun appears to be just, peaking ever so lightly. I consider that sign from spirit, sign from the universe. So, everything is interconnected, friends. That's what we have to realize. Everything is interconnected. I really feel good. I feel like, um, I feel like rejuvenated. I feel encouraged. And that's what the universe does. It gives you the signs, but you have to be tapped in. You have to be aware to be able to pick up on the signs, right? And that's when mindset matters. That's when you have to exercise, the right type of mindset. And so I'm just trying to give you, tell you a little bit about my experience. That's all, friends. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, what I've been doing. And, It's been a quite rewarding experience for me. And so, because we all are divine souls, it will be a divine experience for you, friends, as well. So, but just live at lunch on this little overcast Friday. And the guys over here have their little mobile car wash van, you know. I lived in the Bronx for like almost 3 years, and that's the first time I saw these mobile car wash vans where people kind of just, get an old van, and before you know it, that's their little car wash van. And so, shout out to all of the mobile car wash guys out there, trying to make an honest buck. May the divine be with you and all your pursuits, and may you be successful in your business. But yeah. And look at these pups, these Dalmatians. OMG. My dad told me, like, when I was a little girl, that he had a Dalmatian, but that the Dalmatian had to be put down because the Dalmatian had some issues with the brain. But they're so cute. They are so cute. Okay. Are they still in range? Yeah, but they're leaving. They're so cute. You don't need to be videotaped. I'm not videotaping you. I'm videotaping the beautiful scene. Your dogs are just in the mix. That's all. So, that's it. The guy's like, I don't want to be videotaped. It's like, dude, calm down. I just was looking at the doggies, not you. You're not as attractive as the dogs. Sorry. So, what are everyone's plans for the Friday, for the weekend? Anyone traveling? Anyone doing anything kind of, you know, any shows, any concerts? Who has dinner reservations? And what kind of restaurant? Are you guys going to like a cool steakhouse? Um, I don't know. Is anyone going to brunch this Sunday or Saturday? What's going on with the collective? As for me, I'll just probably be relaxing in the house this evening. Um, Probably ordering DoorDash, channel surfing to find something good to watch, and just taking it easy, easy breezy. But I'll probably just continue the live for a couple more minutes and then I'll sign off, check some emails, maybe send an email or two, and I'll be heading back to work at 1 and finishing up the day. And then dealing with the horrible task of commuting back to New Jersey with the whole transit system that's all wacky and just out of just a hot mess. But luckily, the work on the Portal Bridge is ending on Sunday, thankfully. No, actually, it's ending today, the 13th, I believe. I have to check the New Jersey transit schedule because I might be able to get the train to go straight home. No more transferring to a bus, no more transferring to another train. I'll be able to return to my normal way of getting home, which is one train straight home and straight home. So I'm looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. Oh, by the way, friends, I don't know if your friends are aware, but I did get a part-time job at a huge, very well-known retailer. I was supposed to start this week, but given that I was supposed to get the surgery, I had to push back my start date. And now there's another issue, which is the time, because during the week they said they wanted me from like 5 to 10:30, but then to get home to Jersey, that would get me home like after 11. And then you're talking about, taking a shower, getting something to eat, and then going to bed. You're talking about way after 12, probably close to 1. And then I have to be up like 5, a little after 5. So you're talking about like less than 5 hours of sleep. I don't know if I could do that. Not for 3 days in the week. Perhaps 2 days I could possibly pull it off. So, I'm going to have to reconvene with the manager there to see if, somehow we can work it out, because I really need to leave at 10. But then, they were saying that they really needed me to be there to 10:30. And so it's like, but again, I'm divinely aligned. So I do believe that everything will work out according to um, according to what's supposed to be. So, I'm not really too stressed about it. And then in the event that, it doesn't work out at all, then, it's not meant, and, there's something else out there for me. There's another part-time gig somewhere. So, in life, it's always about the pivot. We always have to be prepared to adapt at a moment's notice. That's what life's about. Yeah, that's one of the you know the parts of life that we're not always prepared, but as long as we're able to rise to the challenge and we're able to pivot, you know then we can find our way. We always do. We are the divine, darling. We are the divine. Wow. If only I knew I was a divine soul when I was like a younger person, a younger teenager. Wow. Imagine where my life would be right now. Perhaps, who knows? But I know that um, probably would have made a few more right turns as opposed to the left turns, you know. But when like they said, when you know better, you do better. But when you don't know, you don't know. And there's trial and error, right? But for those who are listening, I mean, if you don't know now, you're a divine soul. That means that you're more than what you think you are, and you have more inside of you than you think you have. You're talented and gifted beyond your own limitations. In my opinion, that's the true definition of being a divine soul. Well, I'm glad that I know now. I mean, you know, some people never know. You know, they're 60, 70, 80 years old, and they don't really know, who they really are. But fear not, friends. Your girl, New Life Revolution, is here. And so you heard it here first. You are a divine soul. At least that's how you were created. And so, do you remain a divine soul? That's kind of solely up to you. But you definitely are created as a divine soul. That is factual and actual. Like TLC, that's actual and factual. Just to get me on. You got to love me, got to love me. Yes. What song is that? Long as you know that I can have any I want to, baby, that's actual and factual. That's right, friends. We're divine souls. It's actual and factual. And being a divine soul doesn't exempt you from trial and tribulations and, challenges and all those things. No, what it does is equips you to handle it, friends. It equips you to be the best problem solver. It equips you to be an out of the box thinker. It equips you to be an innovator. That's what it equips you with. It equips you to be fearless. Now, just drink a very cold beverage. And I'm cold. Well, my hands are. I'm not. But yeah, I'm hoping that whoever survived that my energy can be contagious. And that, you would feel the authenticity and the honesty, and you would listen to some of what I'm saying, and really open up your mind, consider it. It may be a little off the cusp. It's not like the everyday conversations, or it's just not jargon. It's actually it's just good info, right? I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm not on a soapbox. I'm not like, you know, the, you know, the ever knowing anything. It's just, just giving you my perspective. And that's all, friends. Thank God it's Friday. And nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. Think we are still the kids we used to be. I put my hand on the stove to see if I still bleed. And nothing hurts anymore. I love that song by Kanye. Love me some Kanye. Oh. Okay, birdies, just don't poopy on my head, please. That's all I'm asking. Do not poopy on my head. I know they say it's good luck, but I'll pass on that luck. I'll pass. Ooh, it's like the sun is trying to creep out. It's trying to creep. The sun is trying to creep, creep, creep. Mm-mm-mm. I need to check that New Jersey Transit schedule because, baby dolls, if I see that train going straight to where I'm going, my home stop, OMG, wow, I'm really going to be a happy camper. I mean, I'm happy now, but I'm probably going to do the happy dance, literally. And I'll do it in the street. I'll do it in the station. I do not care. Call me crazy. But your girl's going to be doing the happy dance. So I'm hoping, But even if it's not today, by Monday, by the beginning of next week, Monday, obviously, everything is going to be back to normal. Unfortunately, in October, we're going to have round two of this portal bridge work continuing. And so it'll be hectic in October as well, which it lasted for almost a month this time. And so from October, if it's another month, again, if it's like the same, it'll be another month, close to a month. So you figure it'll start beginning October. It'll be over probably right at the end or within the first week of November. So not too cold, and so I'll be grateful for that. I'll be grateful for that. And who knows, you know? So, it's always just good, friends, just to keep good, positive energy, mindset. And you'd be surprised. You really be surprised how life, um, how life changes or how you experience things in life as a result of your mindset and how you think. Literally, just try it out, friends. No purchase necessary. Okay, try it out for a week. Try it out for a day. And just kind of, you know, um, pardon, just take some notes. So you could always have some concrete data. Where you can measure for yourself. So you don't have to take my word for it. Just try it. Make it a little experiment for yourself. And, if you have a friend or a family member, that's kind of one of those people that, tends to look at life with a little doom and gloom or tends to look at the glasses half empty as opposed to half full, and you're the person that looks at life, with more of a positive lens, do that little experiment and see how like things turn out. See how you feel. See how the experiences unfold when you kind of just shift your whole mindset. I mean, Like I said, I wouldn't tell you anything, friends, if I didn't test it and I didn't know it for myself. But I'm just one person. I'm just one chick, right? I'm just one chick, one lady, one girl, one woman. That's all I am. So, you know, I can speak for myself, but I think it's worth trying. At the very least, it's worth a good, honest attempt. And I believe that you will be pleasantly surprised, even shocked to see how your positive thinking and mindset and attitude would just literally shift the whole paradigm, shift your whole situation, literally turn things around. And I love to hear about your experiences, Come online, leave a comment, go to my community section, leave a comment. This is how we stay connected, friends. We are the collective. So, we all share in this life experience on this 3D plane. And so it's important that we share our knowledge, information. That's how we grow. That's how we we become wiser, we become better, right? And then we can, help another friend to grow and to learn. Our families, this is how we affect change, right? Right. So, yeah. Well, friends, I don't know. I might be signing off soon. Let me just get back. Might be signing off, friends. Let's see. Oh, wow. An hour goes so quickly when you are just, having fun. And this has been fun. Now, oh, duh. I'm like, how the heck did I like it? Okay. But what the heck? I'm on my lunch break. I'm just gonna keep the camera rolling, friends. That's all good. Maybe someone, is watching or listening. And so, I'm here to share. Sharing is caring, friends. I remember one of my students, she would always say that, especially like when she wanted something from, another student, that was her number one mantra. That was her number one go to. She say, sharing is caring. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. She was such a sweet girl. Her grandmother transferred her out of my school to another school. And so I still see her grandma. And so I constantly ask, like every time I see her grandmother, like, how's Aaliyah? She's like, oh, she's doing good. She's a piece of work. And I'm like, give her a kiss for me. Such a sweet girl. I miss her so. And that's the thing, being, a teacher, being, immersed in just guiding young people. I always think about, the time when they'll become, when they'll be adults and things like that. And I wonder, what their lives will be and, the kind of adults they'll grow into. And, it just always kind of makes my heart smile because I'm just like, oh, will they remember me? I'm sure some of them will, like I remember some of my teachers, that were like so kind and always caring, you know. And some that, well, for the most part, I always had like really good teachers. I can't ever recall having a mean teacher. There was my sixth grade teacher, Miss Hall. She was from the islands. She was strict, but not mean. And so there's a huge difference between being strict and mean. And so she was very strict, but she was not mean. Miss Hall, she probably has to be like 80 something years old, maybe now, or older, who knows. But yeah, and then there was my seventh grade teacher, Mr. Teague. Oh, I loved Mr. Teague. I love Mr. Teague. He actually lived right across the street from our junior high school. And one day I wound up like making lunch for him and bringing it in. And he had a son that went to, I think the son probably was like in a freshman in high school. And sometimes his son would come to the school and things like that. And Mr. T, he was just cool. He was like a white guy and, always kind of had his jeans on and a button down shirt. And he was just like cool as hell. So shout out to Mr. Teague. Yeah, but always had good teachers. Never knew that I was going to be a teacher. Never had an inkling. Never even saw myself as a teacher per se. But it's going to be almost 10 years. 2027 will be 10 years that I've been in the classroom. So, I feel very grateful and fortunate to be a part of the lives of young people and, especially not having children of my own. So it's just a huge, huge gift that I am a teacher and I, can, support and guide and nurture young people. So that's pretty awesome. At least I think it is. But anywho, friends, what's going on? What is going on? So I think I'm gonna leave the park now. I'm gonna head to the store quickly before I go back in for lunch, from lunch, clock in, and get ready to end the day. My fingers are literally cold. But cold hands, warm heart, right? Yeah, I'm gonna end the live at the 40-minute mark, and that'll be it. Maybe sometime this evening or tonight, I may come back live. I don't know. I want to kind of start doing some more informational pieces. There's so much right now. I mean, it's endless. The topics are endless. But I kind of want to do some more informational vids for you friends. But yes, I'm in Harlem. Drop me off in Harlem. Good old Harlem. Louis Armstrong. That's a song by Louis Armstrong. For those that don't know who Louis Armstrong is, a famous jazz singer from like the 20s, I believe, 30s. No, like 30s, 40s. Well, famous jazz musician. They called him Satchmount or something like that. Yeah. Well, friends, I'm going to end this live now. Go into the bodega, buy a water, and head up for lunch. So for more videos like this, subscribe to my channel, friends. Be safe, be blessed on this wonderful Friday evening. Conscious ones, stay in the light, and until next time.